If you're a true baseball fan, you know about the Negro Leagues. With names like Satchel Paige, Cool Papa Bell, and even Hank Aaron, the Negro Leagues gave black players the ability to exercise their talents and passion back when it wasn't acceptable to play with their white counterparts. 100 years later, we take a look at Cincinnati's part of that story. How do you measure progress?
Garrett all kinds of fired up.
It starts with knowing the history. In the early 1930s, Olympic gold medalist William DeHart Hubbard started the Cincinnati Tigers, the most notable Negro League team to call the Queen City home. They played at the Reds' home ballpark, Crosley Field.
It was not unusual for the Tigers to actually draw bigger crowds than the Reds did at the time.
Reds Hall of Fame and Museum Chief Curator Chris X says the Tigers wore old Reds uniforms and fed a community that could not see players of color on the field at Reds games.
This was a team that had a number of very talented players. They were competitive in the league that they played in. 1937, they played in the Negro American League.
But due to lack of funding, the Tigers' existence came to an end after that season.
The Tigers' history was brief, but it was impactful.
The Reds suited up in Tigers uniforms for a game in 2017. Then last summer, the Reds Museum featured an exhibit paying tribute to the Negro Leagues. And in August, the team celebrated the league's 100th anniversary.
If all of this great talent had been at the disposal of teams throughout the American National Leagues, how might we be looking at a different story?
In December, 75 years after Jackie Robinson broke Major League Baseball's color barrier, the league added the Negro League stats from 1920 to 1948 to its official records.
For a lot of historians, that debate was settled a long time ago. There was really no question that these were elite players, elite teams, and the reasons cited for why they weren't quote-unquote major league were really things that were beyond their control.
Baseball continues to push towards more diversity in the sport, recently hiring former Reds outfielder Ken Griffey Jr. to help those efforts.
History later showed us that an incredible number of them were more than capable of competing on that stage, and once they were given the ability to do so, really transformed the game as we know it.
Keeping the legacy of the Negro Leagues moving forward.
Just the fact that this is kind of at the forefront of conversation now because of the commissioner's announcement, it's encouraging all of us to look at this deeper and to learn more.
He struck him out.
Showing progress in the sport is not inevitable, it's intentional.